Alright, back to working on the WJ bumper. Bumper's sitting over there because I need to trim more off of the front end of the Jeep. I already did the side right here. You can see on the other side that is still there. I wasn't sure if I was going to take that off originally. I figured I probably would because I want clearance for larger tires that are going to go on here eventually. But I wasn't sure if I'd do it right away. But it turns out when I had the bumper sitting on here and I was mocking up, there's the tubes that come off the side. They come back into this area and that would have interfered with that. So decided now is good a time as any to take those off. So yeah, got this one cut off. You can see it laying down on there, ground there. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then I got more on the bottoms to trim off that little lip so that it sits in there flush. So here we go. So as I started cutting on here, I realized it might not be a bad idea to see what's behind this. And as you can see, the washer fluid bottle is behind that part of the bumper. I'm just going to cut right along here, so it's probably going to be clear of the washer bottle, but I'm going to be using an angle grinder cutting wheel and a Sawzall at different points, so I don't want it getting into that in case I decide I end up needing that. I'm probably not going to use that because what most people do to free up space here is they'll relocate this. You change this out for the washer fluid bottle from a ZJ, and from what I've seen, there's just enough space right there for a ZJ washer fluid bottle. So that's probably what I'll end up doing eventually, but right now I'm trying to make sure I don't destroy it because I might leave it where it is right now until I need the clearance for the bigger tires. So I think I want to get this out of the way first so that I can cut this without getting into it. Alright, well, taking that out is easier said than done. I'm not sure what the proper way to get this thing is out of here because it hits the sway bar. You can see right there, it doesn't clear the sway bar. So I don't know how you're supposed to do this, if there's some special way I'm not rotating it or what, but it doesn't want to come out there. So I'm going to be careful as I can, and cut right along this because I'm taking this piece out anyway. And then that should allow me to pull this out, bend this back, and then I should be able to get it out really easy. But we'll see how easy it is. Alright, so now that I got the bumper attached to the bottom of the frame rails, you need to mark and then drill some holes on the inner frame rails because there aren't any holes there like there are on the bottom. And so that's what I'm doing here, is just marking where the holes line up so I can drill them out. And here I'm just tack welding the nuts onto the bumper mounting plates so that they'll be easier to thread the bolts in later on. I got some clearance issues with the back where the cord comes out of the winch. It hits the other one of these latch supports, which I have it removed right now. But originally I was going to see if I could bend it, but then I decided nope, I want it to make sure it totally clears and I'm not rubbing that wire on anything. So I'm going to cut a piece out of the support right there, because I want to make sure it has plenty of clearance for that wire so I'm not scraping on anything. And then I got this piece of metal left over from my truss that I didn't use, and I'm going to cut that and make a little side piece, and so it should give me plenty of clearance then around there. So that's what I'm doing. Alright, so here's the problem I was trying to solve. The support right here on the left was contacting the wires, and now you can see we got plenty of clearance there. I think that'll work. And I just gotta figure out where to wrap these. Anyway, that'll do. Alright, now I just gotta get this thing fully welded. Alright, so I got the bumper all welded up. I'm not the best at making pretty welds, but I think they'll hold. Once I slap some paint on there, it'll look just fine. It'll work good. I think those will hold just fine. Just letting that cool down a little bit because I just finished welding it. It's still a little warm. So another thing I got to figure out here is I cut off this outer section of bumper here, and the horns were behind it, so I need to relocate them. Battery goes in this section here, and so I'm thinking I'm going to throw the horns right in the fender there for now. At a later time, I'm probably going to have to relocate them again because I'm going to trim out a lot of this fender when I put bigger tires on. But for right now, I think that'll work. I'm going to throw one of them up in here somehow. I had it a second ago. There we go. It'll fit right up in there. And then the other one should fit right here. Lovely little hole right there. So I just need to make a bracket basically for the top one to go onto that one, and then I can bolt them into there. And I think that'll work. So. Alright, so got the horns in. I didn't end up using the bracket because these bolts are too short. And so I just ended up, this is a much simpler way. Just drill a couple holes and mounted them to that, and they'll hang out right there in the fender. Now, got to route the wires up there, and then I need to figure out the vacuum reservoir that was up in the front fender here, right there, that doesn't exist anymore. It's used for the cruise control, and I would like to get my cruise control working. So I'm thinking that right there might be a perfect spot for it. Just I need to extend the hoses and zip tie it on, and it can ride right on top of that stuff. And then I need to tuck my fog light wires in, because I have other fog lights I'm going to put on, but I need to get the bumper mounted up first. So yeah, do that now. Okay, didn't film all of that because it took a lot longer than I was hoping. And the battery on the camera is getting low. But anyway, there we go. Got the bumper mounted. Front and back together, more or less. Winch is in there. Grill is trimmed. Pretty happy with how it looks. So, what do I still got to do? I got to wire the winch still. It's just kind of sitting in there for test fitting. I need to find some place to tuck all these wires up. This is my fog lights and washer fluid, which I don't have a washer fluid bottle right now. I need to hook my headlights up because they're not hooked up either. And I need to paint the bumper, but before I do that, I need to get the tubes on the side. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to do right now, though. Alright, so it's been a couple days. I don't remember where I left off, but since that time, I got all the tubes welded onto the bumper and I painted it. It's been sitting here drying for like over a day now. I used bed liner on it, so it's got kind of a bit of a textured finish. Pretty happy with the way it turned out. And anyway, so now I need to put it back on. Alright, got the bumper all mounted up, winch mounted, lights mounted, everything. I think it's all done now. Very happy with how this turned out. I think it looks really good. Gives a whole lot more clearance in front of those tires too, which is pretty cool. These are not the final size tires I plan on having on this, so that'll give me a lot more room once I get bigger tires too. But yeah, there it is.